YouTube channel. Today's news and headline: awkward photo emerges at the worst time for Justin Trudeau during Canadian election. As Canadians pack into long queues to cast their ballots in the federal election, an extremely awkward new picture of the leader's worst lapse in judgment emerged. While it already known that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau donned blackface at an Arabian Nights party back in 21, this previously unseen image just shows how a good a time he appeared to be having in full color. Oh gosh, man, that looks far more scary. Yes, that is Justin Trudeau in color. Blackface back from 21 from a party, and now it's in full color. Gosh, man, look at you, Justin. What's going into you? You're the Prince of Work, for goodness sake. So previously, all that have been seen were a series of grainy black and white photos in the 2000 and 2001 yearbook of West Point Grey Academy, a private day school where Trudeau was a teacher. They showed the then 29-year-old wearing a turban and robes with his face, neck, and hands darkened. The new colour snap is likely to cause further embarrassment for Mr. Trudeau, who has already apologised for his action that night. And it couldn't happen at a worse time. Oh gosh. Oh no, this is so bad. Oh my goodness. If they really want to win the election, or the opposition want to win the election, they might as well just publish all the damn embarrassing photos. Anyway, bad timing for photo to be released. Just as the unseen photo was released, Canadians were at their polling stations voting in the federal election. While Mr. Trudeau's administration is showing signs of fatigue, and with some voters turning against the Liberal Prime Minister at this stage, it looks like the 49-year-old will be returned to office. From early results, Mr. Trudeau is predicted to beat Conservative leader Erin O'Toole to remain the leader of the country, according to TV projections. But with polling stations set to be reporting the results for hours to come, it is not clear if the Liberals will gain enough seats to form a majority in the Parliament to allow Mr. Trudeau to pass his agenda without opposition support. Despite the forecast, this election had been anything but a walkover. Entering the final stretch of the contest, the two main political parties that have ruled Canada since its 1867 Confederation were virtually tied, with about 31% support each in opinion polls, and four smaller factions nipping at their heels. Mr. Trudeau called the snap election last month, hoping to parallel a smooth COVID vaccine rollout among the best in the world into a new mandate to steer the nation pandemic exit without having to rely on the opposition party to support to pass his agenda. But the contest, after a bumpy 5 weeks of campaigning, appears to set for a repeat of the close 2019 general election that resulted in the one-time golden boy of Canadian politics only just clinging to power after losing his majority in Parliament. A sudden surge of coronavirus cases led by the Delta variant late in the campaign, after the lifting of most public health measures this summer, has also muddled the waters. Mr. Trudeau has faced tougher political bouts and still come out unscathed. But after 6 years in power, his administration is showing signs of fatigue, and it's been an uphill battle for him to convince Canadians to stick with the Liberals after falling short of the high expectations set in his 2015 landslide win. The campaign saw contenders spar over climate action, Indigenous reconciliation, affordable housing, mandatory COVID-19 jabs, and vaccine passport. At rallies, Mr. Trudeau was dodged by what he described as anti-vaxxer mobs, including the one that threw stones at him. The 48-year-old Mr. O'Toole, meanwhile, was knocked for backing two provinces which loosened public health restrictions too soon, with COVID outbreaks now forcing their overwhelmed hospitals to fly patients across the country for care. He also fumbled over gun control and was warned by Beijing, according to China state media, that his proposed hard line on China, Canada's second largest trading partner, whom relation has soured over the detention of two Canadians, would invite counterstrikes. Trudeau lied to us. A long line outside the polling station was observed by AFP journalists in several major cities. Election Canada spokesman Natasha Guthrie, however, said balloting went well generally. One voter in Mr. Trudeau's Montreal electoral district of Papatayou, Douglas O'Hara, 73, said he was very disappointed with the Prime Minister. Although he believed Mr. Trudeau did a half-decent job managing the pandemic, he points out that the leader had pledged not to go to the polls until the outbreak is subsided. Then, as soon as he gets a chance, he thinks he's going to get a majority. He calls an election, Mr. O'Hara said. I really believe he lied to us. In Ottawa, Kay Anderson, 25, said Canada's pandemic response was her number one issue. I think the Prime Minister did a good job in managing the pandemic, she said. Anyway, folks, I know this is a bit of an election sort of story in Canada, but what are your thoughts about this latest blackface photo of Justin Trudeau? Is it far more, scary and more outrageous than the other photos? Let your thoughts know in the comment section. Have a good one.